Welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube, and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. All right, so we're talking about Season 2, Episode 17, Passion, which is an intense episode and an extremely highly rated one. A really well-done episode, and it's up there, definitely, for, like, good Buffy episodes. I mean, it's not easy to watch. Like, there's a lot of, like, angst. A lot of it's sad and hard, but it's really, really good TV.
I mean, yes. Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not, like, a joy to watch, but it's amazing TV. Like, it's so well done.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, so Passion originally aired on February 24th, 1998, written by Ty King and directed by Michael E. Gershman. And the synopsis is, Angel's obsession with tormenting Buffy takes a dangerous turn when he starts edging closer to her heart and home, forcing Buffy to have a serious talk with her mom. Meanwhile, Jenny is doing everything in her power to right her wrongs, especially the one with Giles, her honey bunny that she wants to get back. Her tweed honey bunny. All right, so we start the episode with a little previously on. We're just reminding everybody about what happened with Angel and Buffy, while also just letting everybody remember, like, what Jenny was involved with it. Like, she is a member of the Romani tribe that Angel had killed a lot more than just, like, their favorite daughter and was cursed from. So she's been sent, like, undercover and was found out. So she's on the outs with the group. So that's, like, where they kind of bring us back in, because a lot of these things are going to come back up. So we start the episode in the Bronze with Buffy and Xander dancing. And they're just, she's getting some R&R and just having a good time. And we see Angel is watching from the, like, shadows.
Creepily. I
feel like every time she's in the Bronze, there's some guy watching her from the shadows.
He's just so creepy. And
he does this really, one of the things I really like about this episode, which we don't get often, is, like, a narration. And we don't get that often. I'm trying to think. I'm sure we probably get it once more. I feel like we do get it a couple times in the whole show, but out of 144 episodes, it's a rare thing to get the narration. And I really liked the narration, so I'm going to read it. And it's just broken up through the episode, but Angel starts to say, passionate lies in all of us, sleeping, waiting, and though unwanted, unbidden. It will stir, open its jaws, and howl. It speaks to us, guides us. Passion rules us all, and we obey. What other choice do we have? Passion is the source of our finest moments, the joy of love, the clarity of hatred, and the ecstasy of grief. It hurts sometimes more than we can bear. If we could live without passion, maybe we'd know some kind of peace, but that would be hollow. Empty rooms, shuttered and dank. Without passion, we'd truly be dead. So that's, like, a nice narration that Angel does throughout the episode.
Yeah. So yeah.
And so we hear this while Buffy's dancing at the Bronze and, like, leaving. So leaving with Willow, and Cordelia is also there. So they're leaving, and Angel is kind of hiding in the alley, and they don't notice him.
Creepily watching again.
Because he's, like, killing somebody. He, like, a body drops in front of him. He was being blocked by the person that he was feeding on. And drops the body and just watches her walk away. So obsession is dialed up to 10 in this episode.
I was like, they call it passion, but I'm like, obsession is a more accurate description.
I would say, yes, it's true. At Buffy's house, Buffy comes home from the Bronze and is getting ready for bed. And she kind of, like, looks out the window. You know, she's always, like, looking over her shoulder, except for, like, I guess when he was in the alley. She's always, like, aware, like, you know, trying to be aware of what's going on around her. So she looks out the window, but just gets ready for bed and turns out the light. And we see the Angel is outside of her bedroom window when the light goes out. So real nice and creepy, kind of like Sid hanging out there.
Angel watches her sleep, and it's super creepy, and he strokes her cheek, and it's not okay.
Yeah, he comes into the room, into her bedroom, because remember, he is invited in, so he has a hall pass.
Free pass.
To get into her house whenever he wants.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's in her room, and this is just, like, watching her when she's sleeping.
Cool, Angel.
Like, you think Buffy would have the window locked?
Would it matter? He would just break in, I guess.
Yeah, but she would wake up, is the thing.
I guess.
Like, he wouldn't be able to get in if he can't, like, just float through it. The
premise of the episode is him stalking, and they can't do that.
I know, but Buffy, come on. You know this killer, this insane killer who's obsessed with you, is out there lurking, and you're just going to leave your window unlocked. It's like when people run up the stairs in horror films and all that. You know, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Right back.
Yeah, you know better than this, Buffy. But, yes, and then we get more of the passion speech that I had said previously, and we go to the credits. Buffy wakes up in the morning to find an envelope on her pillow next to her.
So is this the gift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a portrait that Angel drew of her while she was sleeping.
Actually, a really good portrait. Like,
it's really good.
Really well. I'm impressed.
He's talented.
Still super creepy, but yeah, good job.
Yeah, good serial killers can be talented too. And more than just killing people, I guess. Yeah, so there's actually a very nice, well done portrait of Buffy sleeping, but
he is creative, yeah.
It is she can't enjoy the niceness of it because it's creepy and scary. In the library, Buffy tells Giles about the picture, that he's been in her room and, like, they have to do something.
Yeah.
And Buffy and Cordelia, both Buffy for her house and Cordelia for her car. She's invited Angel.
Whole conversation was like, I actually didn't even write it down because I was just mad that she even brought it up.
Yeah, she's like, he's been in my car. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He's been in my car. And I like when Xander's like, well, now you have to give them a ride. And all of his undead friends all the time. And let me tell you, they don't pitch in for gas. I like that they're, like, together now, but they still, like, snipe at each other.
Sniping, yeah.
It's funny.
I like how Xander was like a visit from the pointed tooth theory.
Yeah, Xander had some good lines in this one.
He did.
Yeah, so Giles is going to look into a spell to revoke a vampire's invitation to their house/dwellings or cars or whatever. And they're discussing this when Jonathan, plus another student that we don't know, comes in looking for books.
How dare!
What are you doing in here?
Everybody looks so confused, even Giles. Giles is like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. And, Xander's actually kind of annoyed. Andrew's like, we just need some books on, I think he says Stalin.
Something like that.
Yeah, and, so Giles just points him in the right direction, and then they all have to leave the library because they can't continue their conversation. So they all just walk out of the library.
And then Jonathan tries to come back out to ask more instructions, and he's like, oh, nobody's here.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the point of this was. Honestly.
Comedic relief? I don't know.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Do they need to just get her into the hallway? I don't think so either. No, it's interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure what the point of that, of having Jonathan come in, was. But anyway, they walk out into the hallway and continue talking, the four of them. And Giles is trying to explain to Buffy that Angel is just trying to throw her off her game. It's a battle technique. He's trying to provoke her into doing something stupid, to, like, get her off balance so that he can take advantage of that.
But then she's kind of like, well, didn't he kill Drew's family?
Yeah, he says when...
Valid point.
Yeah, one of the first things he did when he was obsessed with Drew was to kill her family. So now Buffy is, like, really concerned. And now that she knows he's been in her room, that something about her mom. She's like, I'm not always there to protect her. I have to do something. And it's interesting because Buffy says, should I just tell her the truth? Mm-hmm. And Giles says, like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. I've already told too many people at this point.
Yeah, and Xander's like, yeah, if you tell her, then it means less for us. You're diluting the secret. Like, it's less cool if more people know about it. So for purely selfish reasons, Xander doesn't want Joyce to know about it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I have to tell her something. And Giles says, we're going to figure the spell out. It's going to be fine. Giles says to ignore Angel, that she can't be a slave to her passions. Mm-hmm. So, like, when she feels these extreme emotions because of the stuff he's doing, she's a slayer. She has to keep all that in control. And I like when Xander calls her Watcher's pet.
I know, I thought that was really funny, too.
Yeah, Watcher's pet. Because many ways to be the Watcher's pet. I guess it should be the Slayer, right? So we go to Jenny's classroom, and Jenny asks Willow to cover her class, I think the next day or something, because she's going to be a bit late for class, which Willow is ecstatic to be asked to teach the class.
Yeah.
I'd be like, am I going to get paid for this? Because I'm a student. She's a teacher. Like, I should get paid for some time. Like, having a student teach it. Buffy and Giles show up at the door of the classroom and just basically try to ignore Jenny. And they're like, come on, Willow. Come on, Willow. Willow's like, I have to talk to her. She's a teacher. But Giles kind of lags behind.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a little talk and says, she tries to apologize again and says she didn't know what would happen. She didn't know she was going to fall in love with him.
I know, this is like the first time we kind of heard this.
And right before, we'll come back to this, but like right before that, he's talking about how bad things are with Angel, and she gives him a book to help with the revocation spell. So she's still trying to help out. Yeah. But yeah, when she says, I didn't plan, or I didn't know I was going to fall in love with you, he's like,
she's like, she thought lying was the right thing to do. She didn't know she'd fall in love with him. And he was just, he's liking that.
Yeah, he's like, this is good news. And she says, like, that slipped out. Like, is it too late to take that back? And he's like, do you want to take it back?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then his mood immediately shifts, like, more positive.
Yeah.
And she just says, I just want to be okay with you. Like, I don't expect anything more.
Up to him.
I was made up to him. And he says, I'm not the one you need to make it up to.
Yep.
So basically, like, if she's good with Buffy, she's good with him, basically, is like what he's saying.
Buffy's sitting with her mom, and her mom knows something's up. And
Joyce usually does. Joyce is usually like, what's wrong with you? What's going on?
And then she's like, they're talking about dating, and then Buffy admits that Angel's having trouble letting go. Like, don't invite him in. This whole conversation was interesting.
Yeah, Buffy is trying to, like, say, they dated, it didn't end well, and he's just having a hard time letting go. She's trying to be, like, really light about it, but...
Exactly, because what can she say? She doesn't want her mom to, like, freak out about it, and it's not like she can, like, if she goes all out and tells her mom to be more concerned, like, they can't call the police or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, this is
and Joyce does, like, go there. She's like, has he done anything? Like, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
So, at least that's good on Joyce for that. Like, she wants to make sure this isn't serious.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffy is downplaying it a lot. But she says, just don't invite him in.
Yep.
Which is the main, like, underlying thing that we want, that she wants to get across to her mother.
Yeah.
At Willow's, Buffy and Willow are talking on the phone. We're in Willow's bedroom. This seems so sad.
Yeah. And they're talking about how men can be such jerks.
Yeah, and Willow is feeding her fish. She's talking on the phone. Feeds her fish.
She's feeding her fish, and she's not paying attention.
Not paying attention. Turns around, and there's the same kind of manila envelope. Kind of like a beigey off-white envelope on the bed.
Like cream colored. It looks like a nice envelope, actually.
Yeah, it does. It looks like...
Fancy stationery.
Yeah, it does look... Yes, exactly. Good. That's a good way to put it. Fancy stationery. Okay, odd. Like, where'd that come from? And she opens it and pulls it out. All her fish are all strung together. Her fish are all dead and strung together on a string. Yeah.
I'm really glad she didn't have a puppy.
That's what she says. I know. Are we all? Are we all? None of the Scoobies have puppies. They barely even have any pets. Like, this is I think the only time we see a pet. Well, that's not true. But,
So Willow decides to sleep over at Buffy's.
Yeah, so we cut to Willow and Buffy in her bed. Willow's holding a steak, and there's a huge, like, thing of garlic behind them on the bed. Did you see that?
I didn't even notice that, no.
It's like 15, like,
that's so funny.
Bulbs of garlic, like, on a huge thing, like, tape, like, attached to the bed, the headboard. And, so they're having I don't know if I'd want to be at Buffy's, though. I mean, she's a slayer, but it is, like, hunting ground for Angel, so I don't know if I feel...
better than being alone?
Yeah, I guess
don't know,
so.
Right? I think it's better than being alone.
She could fight him, at least, I guess.
Yeah.
So they have a steak and garlic... That sounds like an actual meal, but, like, the wooden steak and garlic slumber party. And Buffy says when stuff like this happens, her first instinct is still to run to Angel, but she can't believe it's the same person that she used to know.
Mm-hmm.
So Buffy's sitting with that. At the factory, Drew tries to feed Spike a puppy.
So, yeah, speaking of puppies, and she names him Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
How do you name a puppy Sunshine? At first, I was just like, I didn't realize they were going to try to feed it to Spike.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is so cute. Like, Drusella's bringing a puppy. And then I was like, what is wrong with these people? They actually eat puppies?
They're demons.
Oh,
yeah, so she's kind of, like, bringing something for Spike to eat easily, because he's, like, can't go out and hunt and all of this, so she's, like, just bringing this easy target to him so he can, like, kill it. And he is not amused that she's feeding him like a child, and he's kind of pissed off at her. And Angel comes in really close to sunrise, and Drew was, like, a bit concerned that he was, like, still not back. And Spike's like, you know what? I wasn't concerned. Like, I don't really care. Like, Spike is really souring on Angel.
Oh, yeah, is he ever?
Like, he's really just fed up with him.
He's over it.
He's over it. He's over him, like, hanging out at his house.
Well, he's kind of a dick. Like, he's so mean.
Who? Angel?
Angel.
Or Spike? Yeah.
Like, he's actually more, like, he's more of a jerk than Spike, weirdly.
Yeah, and Angel kind of, like, teases. It's meaner than teases, but, like, really, like, gets under Spike's skin about how Drew has to, like, wash him and, like, change him like a baby. Yeah. And that he's like, why don't I, like, take things over for you? Like, basically, like...
He's like, why don't, or next time I'll take you with me in case I need a really good parking spot.
I love that.
Oh, my God.
That's terrible. Oh, gosh. And then he implies that, you know what, he can sleep with Drew since Spike's out of commission for a while. And he's like, or I can do things that, you know, you'd usually do. He's like, well, things that I'm not doing already. So, like, I don't know if that was just to mess with Spike or if that was true.
Who knows? I'm curious. I mean, Drew, like, Drew's lapping all this up, though.
Oh, she loves it. Yeah, she's
Spike
like, keep fighting over me. Yeah. Because, like, unlike all of it, like I said before, Spike is very monogamous. He's very one-woman guy. And, he doesn't like this at all. And they don't really care. I feel like Drew and Angel are just like, whatever. It's just sex or whatever. They don't care. So, yeah, whether that's just Angel knew that it would, like, really get under Spike's skin, or if it's actually happening, I don't know. Yeah. But Drew didn't, like, I feel like if that was proposition to Drew, she would be, like, fine with it.
Yeah.
Based on her reaction.
I'm sure she would quite enjoy it.
Yeah. While Drew is, like, having such a great time about these boys fighting over her, she has a premonition. It's about, she says an old enemy is coming back to, like, destroy their happy home. So that's, like, kind of, like, all the information they get out of her.
Yeah. She's like, the air worries.
The air worries, yeah. That's her kind of premonitions. They're always so, like, out there. As premonitions are. So at a magic shop, Jenny shows up to buy an orb of Thessala from the local, as Angel calls it later, boogity store. I love that.
And, like, the owner knows Enyo.
Yeah, he knows Jenny's uncle. So he knows right away. He's like, so you're...
Yana,
yeah. So you're Yana. And he kind of says, sorry I heard about your uncle, because if you don't remember, Angel killed her uncle a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
He gives her an orb of Thessala, and I just love, this prop is meaningful to me because I had a really close friend named John in high school, and, like, the first thing we ever, like, became friends over was Buffy.
Aww.
And, like, the rest of my friend group that I met, because I came into a new high school from not, like, the feeder schools. Like, I came from a public school system into a private school system. So most of my friends had gone to school through the Catholic school system, the private school system, so they had known each other. I came into that school not knowing anybody. So I kind of joined that friend group, and my one really close friend, Kyle, would say, I remember when we were, like, first day of, like, freshman year, John ran out to me. He's like, I found someone that likes Buffy.
Oh, that's so cute.
And on my 16th birthday, he bought me a paperweight that looked like the Orb of Thessala.
Oh, really?
And I had it for years. Cool. Yeah, he's like, the Orb of Thessala for your birthday.
That's adorable.
So I always think about that prop. And he says, like, most people use it as a paperweight, so it's just funny. So I got a paperweight that looked like the Orb of Thessala.
Nice.
And he's like, just so you know, why, like, this is kind of useless because the restoration spell is lost.
Like, and translate it?
Yeah, nobody can translate it. And she says, well, she's working on a computer program to translate it from the text that they do have.
Yeah.
So that's what she's working on. And so otherwise these Orbs of Thessala, these are useless. That's what they're for. They're to hold someone's soul. It's like a third party to hold someone's soul so it can be transferred. But if you don't have the spell, it's just a paperweight, I guess. Say exactly what she's going to do with it, but he's like, what are you going to do? It's a gift for a friend. He's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to give them or whatever? And he says, their soul. A soul. So, yeah.
My interest is piqued.
Jenny is taking control of the situation.
Yeah.
In the quad, we see, I think it's just, it's Willow, Buffy, and Xander walking to class, and Willow notices that Miss Calendar actually is back. So she very disappointed that she's not going to teach the class. I think she says, like, 5 hours of lesson planning last night down the drain. Like, aw, Willow. So cute. And Buffy does see Jenny, so she actually walks up to Jenny and talks to her. She says that at first she, like, lets her feelings get in the way of what she came there to say. She's just like, I know you feel badly about it, and about what happened. I just want to say, good, keep it up.
Keep it up.
Jenny's like, okay, all right, I'll do that. Will do. And then she's like, wait, okay. Giles misses you. She just says he, which is kind of cute too. He misses you. He doesn't say anything to me, but I know he does, and I don't want him to be lonely.
Yeah, I think that's really cute.
I know, it's adorable.
She's like, we're good here. So she pardons Jenny.
Yeah, I'm like, is she saying, like, we're okay? Or, like, there's nothing to discuss between us?
I think she's saying we're okay. That's my interpretation. Yeah. Because, I mean, I think Buffy's, she went through her grief stages. She's at acceptance now. Mm-hmm. Like, she's obviously still grieving and stuff like that, but, like, she's gone over the denial, bargaining, anger. What are the other ones? She's gone through all of them, and I feel like she's at acceptance. Mm-hmm. So I feel like with Jenny, she's just kind of like, I'm thinking she's accepted what's happened, and it's just kind of like, let's make peace and move on, because there's nothing else you can do. And Buffy does have a maturity about her, so. And
I think that even though everyone had a right to be mad at Jenny, I think, to a degree, because they felt betrayed, that they were being used and, like, she wasn't being truthful with them. I think a lot of Buffy's, like, she's, like, kind of deflecting some of that on Jenny. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's a bit extreme how Buffy's feeling about Jenny's involvement.
I agree. It's not her fault. I realize it's bad that she deceived. She wasn't completely honest. She left some important things out. But yeah, it totally wasn't her fault what happened. She would never have been able to guess that was going to happen.
Yeah. So I think Buffy displaces a little bit of her, what she feels about herself onto Jenny, like just to sort of keep her head above water. Yeah, so I think that, like you said, like she's moving through everything. So I think that's starting to subside now. She's definitely accepted the situation now.
Yeah. So is this the cafeteria that they're in?
Yeah, I put student lounge. Okay, I put it's like the tables in front of the student lounge, I think.
Yeah. So Giles found a ritual.
Yay! Him and his books. They had a fascinating afternoon.
For some reason, I thought there was, like, this episode was going to be basically they can reverse it. I don't know. I just assumed they wouldn't be able to do it.
That they wouldn't be able to. Okay.
This is good. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so Giles found it, the invitation to revoke the invitation from vampires. So they are in Willow's room, and they're doing the spell at Willow's, and Willow is, like, nailing a crucifix, and, like, covers it up with her curtain, because she's like, this is going to be really hard to explain to my parents, because Willow is Jewish. And she says, I even have to go over Xander's to watch...
Charlie Brown Christmas or something?
Yes, Charlie Brown Christmas. And she's like, but it's worth it to see Xander do the Snoopy dance. And it will be seasons to go, but we will see, breaking news, spoiler alert, we will see Xander do the Snoopy dance at some point. So
that's cute.
You can look forward to that.
All right.
We do see it in season 4. Yeah, season 4. Okay. Yeah, so... But she's using these as part of the spell. Oh, and also Giles had said part of it was, like, he kind of listed all the ingredients, and Buffy's like, yep, everything I have at my house. Yeah, like holy water, crucifixes, some other, like, spice or something.
Like incense or something?
Yeah, something. There was Buffy's like, yeah, all that, no problem. And, yeah, so Cordy's also there, and she's like, Willow, you really don't have any fish in here? Like, and there's nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's so sad.
And Willow's like, oh. Like that Buffy says, we already did your car, Cordy, so you can just go. We did your car, you're fine. So she's a big crucifix, like, nailed to the hood of her car.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
And there's this whole kind of, like, C plot where Cordy's so worried about her car, and she, like, made her grandma switch cars with her and everything.
That's so mean. So it's okay for her grandma to get offed by Angel. Cool, Cordelia.
Cordelia's, selfish. She's like, that lady's lived her life. She's an old lady. I'm young. I'm beautiful still. So, yeah, Cordelia finds a note or another envelope on Willow's bed, the same kind of envelope we've seen several times now, so there's probably no mistake who it's from. And Willow obviously thinks it's for her since it's on her bed, and she opens it. It's not. She gives it to Buffy, and is a drawing of her mother sleeping, very similar to the one that Buffy got. Yeah.
So creepy.
So at Buffy's house, we see Joyce pulling up in the driveway with some groceries, and Angel's waiting outside for her.
Who stops? Yeah, who's there to talk to her?
Yeah. And he comes across, like, of course, Joyce kind of knows, like, okay, we don't want this guy around. Yep. But he comes to her, he's like, hey, you have to help me talk to Buffy. I really want to talk to Buffy. I just really want to be with her. And Joyce is like, she wants you to leave her alone. Yeah. And Joyce is increasingly getting uncomfortable.
Yep.
As Angel just won't stop.
Like, I know. He's being super persistent. He's being super creepy. He's like, you need to convince her.
I can't live without her. She can't live without me.
Yeah, would die without each other.
Yeah. And she says, is that a threat?
Yeah.
So Joyce is getting really freaked out.
Like, I'm going to call the police. Mm-hmm. And then, oh my God, he says, I can't sleep since the night they made love. You asshole. I can't believe that. I was so mad.
He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Of course she was shocked.
Yeah, Joyce was shocked and then just like fiddles, tries to just get into the house. And right when she comes in, we see Willow doing the spell, saying the words. And this is this is so badass.
Angel tries to run in.
And he tries to get in. It gets repelled because the spell is complete. And Buffy says, sorry, Angel, change the locks. And, like, slams the door in his face.
So great. That was my favorite scene.
Yes, Buffy. Yes, that was amazing. In Jenny's classroom, so it's after school at night, and Giles comes into Jenny and just says, oh, you're working late? And she immediately hides something on her computer screen, like, doo-doo-doo-doo, and it just disappears. It goes back to, like, some schoolwork. And she says she may have some news, but she doesn't want to speak too soon in case it doesn't work out.
True, yeah, it's premature.
Yeah, but can I see you later? He's like, yeah, come over to my house. And he's like, oh, yes, come over to my house. Like, he's very happy. He's very happy. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, so she's going to meet him later. And then she goes back to fiddling with, we're assuming, the computer program to translate the spell.
Yeah.
At the magic shop again, Drew is following up on her premonition. She comes in
with the
puppy, the magic shop. And I didn't like how the guy was like, oh, sorry, we're closed, honey. Like, yeah. So, yeah, she comes in and she wants to know what I don't know what she called Jenny. The nice lady or something weird like that.
I missed that. You're right. She just wants to know what happened with Jenny.
She wants to know what they talked about. And, I doubt he makes it after that conversation. I'm sure he gives up. She tortures him, probably gives it up. But we don't see her kill him, but we can assume. We assume that's what happens. All right. And Jenny's classroom, back again. Jenny completes the translation. It, like, pops up. She's like,
figures it out.
That's it. She did it.
She's excited.
She's very excited. She puts it on a old floppy disk, if you remember those. Floppy disk, and then she starts printing it out, too. Okay, so while that's happening, she kind of looks to the back of the classroom, and Angel is just sitting there.
Of course.
Relaxing.
God. My heart sank when I saw this.
Taking a load off. And she immediately is, of course, spooked, scared, startled.
Well, and she's like, how did you even get in here? Although, I mean, to be fair, I feel like he's been in this school before.
Yeah.
But then he makes the point of saying, oh, there's that sign in front of the school that in Latin is translated to enter all ye who seek knowledge. So it's an open invitation.
But I think there's a little, like you said, like, lots of vampires have been in the school.
Yeah. Like, he's been in the school before.
Yeah, and I don't know why Jenny
was surprised.
Like, do you remember when they were in the hallway? Jenny was there when he attacked Willow. Yeah. So, like, she knows he can come into maybe she meet the classroom. Is that supposed to be, like,
separate?
Like, I think it gets clear.
Or is it a different part of the school, maybe?
I don't know, but, like, as we go on, it kind of gets made semi-clear that, like, it's, like, private residences. Like, they can walk into a grocery store without being invited in.
Okay.
Like, public places, they can, like, walk in. So, they kind of put a Band-Aid on that at this point. But I think later on, like, the Bronze, he doesn't have to be invited into the Bronze. He just walks into the Bronze.
But she's like, oh, I have good news.
You think he didn't think it's good news, Jenny?
I know. I guess, I don't know how anyway. And then he sees the Orb of Thessala and...
Yeah, he's like, oh, you have my cure?
Downhill.
Yeah, he grabs Orb of Thessala and smashes it against the chalkboard. And then he destroys the computer. Mm-hmm. And in the flaming mess that the computer is, after he's destroyed it, he burns the printed copy of the translation over the fire. And she's like, no, don't. Like, but obviously he wants to get rid of it. He's like, oh, this brings back memories when he's reading it. It's nostalgia for him.
It's like he says he kills 2 birds with 1 stone, and then
and teacher
makes 3.
3. Yeah. So Jenny immediately starts to run. And this is a pretty long, like, chase sequence where Jenny's just staying a little step ahead of him. And Angel's fine with it. He prefers this.
He likes the chase.
Yeah, he likes the chase. He said he wants to work up an appetite. And I didn't notice this, but when I read, like, the behind-the-scenes stuff, it says the doors of the school violate fire code because they have to open out, and she opens them in.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
So, just there you go. In case you were wondering about... No wonder everybody's dying in Sunnydale. The doors aren't up to fire code. She's running, and she actually stops. It's actually a really pretty little area where she stops, unfortunately. Yeah. It's in front of a big window, a big arched window, and she thinks she's kind of lost Angel. She turns around, but Angel's on the other side.
Right there, yeah.
He's there. And he just says, like, sorry, Jenny, this is, like, your stop. Like, whatever, something like that. Like, this is your stop. And he breaks Jenny's neck.
He just snaps it like it's nothing.
Like a twig, and she dies.
Yeah, I hated this scene.
Yeah, this is big. Did you think that Jenny was going to die?
No.
You thought she was going to get away?
I thought she was going to get away.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, she just kept being 1 step ahead of him, and then she, like, knocked him over at one point. Mm-hmm. She's running up the stairs, and I'm like, okay, she's going to, like, hide somewhere and, like, close herself in.
Buffy's going to show up for some reason.
I didn't think anybody was going to show up, but I just thought she was either going to somehow get away or just, like, I thought she was actually going to find somewhere to hide. Uh-huh. But I don't know how that would have worked. I mean, obviously now that I think about it, like, none of this makes sense. I didn't think they were going to kill her off, though. So,
yeah, it's so...
Yeah, it was really sad. Because, like, she was working on the cure, and, like, her and Giles, and, like...
There's a lot there. Yeah. Left unresolved, right, which is sad. At Buffy's house, Giles comes over to get the book for the spell, and Willow's there and tells Giles that Angel was there, that he told the T about Buffy and Angel having sex to her mom, so Buffy's in the hot seat now.
Talk. Yep.
And I love when Giles is like, oh, maybe I should go up and intervene on behalf of her mother. Willow's like, yeah, sure, what would you say?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to say?
You know that Buffy slept with somebody?
Yeah, the school librarian knows about her daughter's sex life. Like, that's going to really help the situation. No. He's like, yeah, you're right. You tell her I stopped by, won't you? Goodbye. Like, she's on her own. In Buffy's room, we go upstairs. Joyce is really upset that Buffy slept with Angel.
She said you should have shown more judgment. I feel like this is kind of slut-shaming. I know it's her daughter, but, like, what is she, 17?
Just 17, yeah.
Okay, just 17. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like this conversation.
Yeah, I don't think Joyce took it too badly. I think when she says, like, you slept with a boy that you didn't even see fit for me to date, he doesn't seem stable. I mean, she just also had that interaction with Angel that seemed dangerous and scary, and they were going to call the police. So she's like, he's so much older than you. Like, I think there's enough evidence to be really concerned for Buffy's choices here. And I don't think that Joyce, she didn't use any, like, derogatory language to her. I think Joyce was having emotions about it, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, to find out about it the way she did.
The way she did as well, yeah. And under the circumstances, like, the guy's actually scaring her. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Joyce did
she did show that she cares, though, and loves her.
Yeah, and she didn't, like... she said, make sure I hope you're being careful and all this stuff. And she's like, but she said, you don't share anything with me, which is true. Mm-hmm. Buffy is kind of a closed book to her mother. Yeah. And she says, but, you can do whatever you want, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop loving you or stop caring about you. That's never going to happen. Yeah. So that was like, I don't know. I feel like that's a good way to end that conversation.
You're right. That's true. Okay.
I'm with you to, like, I'm with you to criticize Joyce when, I mean, you obviously, if you feel that it is, that's fine too. But I feel like this wasn't her worst moment by far. Yeah, that's true. I think she actually did decent for the circumstances, personally. Yeah. Like, if I had this conversation, if I was Buffy, I'd be like, ooh, I got off pretty easy there. So yeah, Buffy, they just kind of have a moment and they're like, oh, so that was the talk, huh? Okay, all right, we were through it. We're okay. So I think it ended pretty well for both of them. Yeah. So we go to Giles' apartment. He's coming home.
Like this part.
I mean, this is like, yeah, ouch. So, right, it's important to note, too, that when Giles picked up the book from Buffy's house, he's like, oh, I should do my apartment now. So Giles is the last, because Angel had access to Giles' apartment, and he's the last one to do the spell. Okay, so he says he needs to go home and do the spell to revoke.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, good catch. Okay.
Yeah. So Giles goes home. He sees a rose in the doorknob of his house, and he is expecting Jenny. So he's like, ooh, he smells it. He like walks in. Place is full of candles. It's so romantic.
And you can hear music.
You can hear, yeah, like opera, I think. Mm-hmm. And he goes over to like the desk or something, and there's like champagne, and there's a little note written on a very familiar type of stationery. Yep. That says upstairs on it. And oh my God, one of the parts that's the most heartbreaking about this is when he fixes his hair.
Aww.
He takes his jacket off and he's like fixing his hair, making himself look nice. Oh my God. That part, like, I don't know why. Like, he was just trying to make him look nice for her. Yeah. And so he walks up the stairs and sees Jenny laying on the bed, but she's obviously dead.
And you can tell that she's,
Yeah, her eyes are open. She's just got the dead stare. Like, she's just staring at nowhere.
So creepy. Yeah.
He pretty quickly realizes what he's looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very sad.
So, like, and then in the next scene, he drops the glass that he's holding.
Yeah, he drops the glass, and then we just cut to, like, the police.
The police, and he's in shock.
He's standing outside, he's in shock. They want to bring him in to just ask them some questions. Ask him some questions. He says, yeah, of course, but can I make a call first? All right. At Buffy's house, Angel watches from the window, like from outside, as the phone rings inside Buffy's house. So Buffy goes to pick it up, and I actually have the unheard dialogue. So it says, Willow comes, Buffy and Willow walk in the room. Willow says, was it so horrible? Buffy says, it wasn't too horrible. Phone rings. Hello? Giles says, Buffy. Buffy says, Giles, hey, we just finished this, she starts to say spell. Giles says, Jenny, Miss Calendar, she's been killed. Buffy says, what? Giles says, it was Angel. Buffy drops the phone. We see Willow pick it up. Willow says, Buffy, picks up the phone. Giles says, Willow, Angel's killed Jenny. And then Willow says, what? No. Joy says, Willow, oh my God, Buffy, what's wrong? Has something happened? That's what they're saying in the house. Because we don't really hear, we hear a little bit of it, but we don't hear it all. So that's what happens. So Buffy and Willow get the call. And Buffy kind of just collapses like numbly. She's completely in shock. And Willow just like starts sobbing.
She's sobbing, And Angel's watching all of this.
And he's loving it. He's smirking. Yeah. He's just loves
watching
it.
Buffy cry, and he's so happy.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
So Xander, and they're in Cordelia's car. Xander, Willow, Cordelia, Buffy. Buffy wants to go to Giles. She's worried what he might do.
Yeah, because they sent Cordy and Xander to the police station, but when they got there, they had let Giles go already. So Buffy wants to quickly go to Giles because she's worried, like, what he's gonna do? Like, what is his reaction gonna be? Yeah. At Giles, we see Giles gathering his weapons. So Buffy is
backing up,
rightfully worried about what he will do. And a little bit later, we see the gang arrive. They see Angel's whole setup, and they just kind of figure out what happened here. That he kind of tricked Giles into thinking that Jenny had spent this romantic night, and that Jenny was upstairs, and then her body was there.
It's like, that's so much. Like, why would you do that elaborate?
That's Angel's thing.
Oh, God. Yeah.
He loves that stuff. He really gets a kick out of it. Xander is really like, when is somebody going to kill this guy? He's like, you forget, I hated Angel before all you guys jumped on the bandwagon. It's about time I said, I told you so.
Yeah.
And he says, good, I think Giles basically should kill him. And I would say, faster pussycat kill. And I was like, okay, what is that? So he's referring to it's a 1965 movie where 3 go-go dancers go on a murder spree.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that's what he's referring to.
Yeah. All right, then.
And Buffy does agree with him. But she says the only issue with that is that he's not going to win. He's going to get killed.
No, exactly.
He's not going to go up. Can't go up against Angel. They know the weapons are gone, so they definitely know that Giles has gone after Angel.
Yep.
In the factory, Spike thinks Angel is stupid. That's in my note. That's what it says. He's like, what are you doing? You are going to bring hell down on our heads because you are pissing off the Slayer and like doing all this like silly stuff. Like, just kill her.
Why isn't she dead yet?
Just kill her. Like, what are you doing?
Like, don't worry, I've got everything under control.
Yeah, he's like, you're just gonna make the Slayer more angry, and she's gonna come down on us. So Spike has had enough.
He says that.
Oh yeah,
there's a little fire that just jumps in front of them.
Speak of the devil. Giles shows up in a hail of fire and attacks Angel with a flaming baseball bat. And I think Angel says something like, "What happened to Stakes?" Like, he's actually wailing on him pretty well. Yeah, he caught him by surprise.
I think he hit him with a crossbow first too, right?
He may have. I don't even remember.
I wrote it down. Anyway, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He just came all guns a-blazing. Giles did. And
then Drew wants to go help him. Spike's like, no.
Spike's like, you haven't been tagged. You can't jump into the ring unless you've been tagged. Spike's like, let me have this. Just let me watch this, okay? Come on. I don't know what you've been doing with him, so I can watch him get beat up by this librarian. And Giles does get a good bit on him. Like, for a while, Giles has the upper hand, but like it was never gonna last.
He regains control.
Yeah, he grabs him by the throat, and luckily Buffy shows up before Angel can kill him.
She jumps in.
Yeah, she jumps in, starts fighting Angel, and it's funny because Angel throws Giles, and he's unconscious again.
Yeah.
Laying on the ground. And we see in the background, Drew just wheels Spike away. Woo, bye. She just turns around and wheels him out of the room. Like, okay, we're not gonna get involved in this.
Angel tries to run, but Buffy catches him and beats the crap out of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're up in like they eventually make it up to like the catwalk. Yeah. Where Buffy and Angel had gotten captured while watching, like, spying on the judge.
Yeah.
In surprise. And so they're up there again and they're fighting. And she's got the upper hand on him. But the thing is, the fire is spreading.
Yeah.
And Angel calls...
You gonna let your old man burn?
Yeah, so she has to choose between, like, killing Angel or saving Giles. Man. So she
saves Giles.
She saves Giles, drags him out into the alley. And this scene, oh my God.
Giles is angry. He's like, why did you come?
This wasn't your fight. And she just punches him.
Yeah.
Because she's so... angry.
She's like, are you trying to get yourself killed? You can't leave me.
I can't do this alone. And then they just both start crying and hugging. Oh my God, like the feels.
Yeah.
There's so much going on here, and it's like there's so much sweet elements to it. She's like, you're like my dad. Like, what are you doing? You can't leave me alone. Like, she needs him.
They only have each other, really. I mean, I know Xander and Willow, of course, but like the bond between Giles and Buffy is obviously it's getting bigger. It's like
it's becoming a father, like a child-father bond.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's like really upset that he would risk his life and leave her all alone. Mm-hmm. So it's really sweet. And then they just both start crying and like hugging and stuff. It's so sweet. Even though she just hit him in the face. That's how Buffy gets her emotions out. She just punches people in the face. In the graveyard, we're in a graveyard, and Buffy and Giles are at Jenny's grave. So it's obviously been a little bit. Jenny has been buried.
Yeah, and he's putting flowers on her grave.
Yeah, and he says, as a watcher, I've buried so many people, more people than I would, could count or whatever he says. He says, but Jenny's the first one I loved, or the only one I loved.
So sad. Oh my God.
Oh, so we know now. He never even got to tell her that he loved her. Yeah. And Buffy feels a lot of guilt, I think, right now, because she's had multiple chances to kill Angel and hasn't, and now he's killed how many people?
I get it, but it's not her fault.
No, I know, but she's feeling it, I think.
Yeah, she's ready though.
Yeah, we get a little narration from Buffy that she said, I'm sorry I couldn't kill him when I had the chance for you, for her, and that Angel's never coming back. Like, I've accepted that, and I'm ready, basically. And a cool little side note to this, Ed Sheeran is a big Buffy fan.
Really?
And yeah, he has there's a very important weapon that comes in later that's very iconic Buffy. And he has a full-size model of it in his house.
God, that's
and
so funny.
Sarah Michelle Gellar always goes to his concerts, and they always go backstage and get pictures together. Like, she's a fan of his, he's a fan of hers.
That's so cool.
They're like little buddies. But he's like a big Buffy fan. So he actually sampled this song that's playing, the instrumental called Remembering Jenny. He sampled it for A Fire Love, which I don't think I have to surely listen to it, but it's one of his songs. He sampled this song from Buffy. Yeah, so he's a big Buffy fan, so that's kind of interesting.
Right.
If you listen to that song, there is some of remembering Jenny in it.
Okay.
At school, Willow is covering class. Principal Sitter asked her because obviously there is no computer science teacher, and so Willow's going to cover until the new teacher arrives.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to follow the lessons plan that Jenny had already planned out. And when she's messing around with stuff on the desk, the floppy disk that that Jenny had put the restoration spell on, that Angel didn't know about, falls in between like the desk and a filing cabinet. So we'll just leave that right there.
I'm curious to see what goes. I don't know. I still feel like they're not going to be able to bring it back. So, yeah.
And even if they do, like,
where do you going to want them anymore?
Where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just going to go back with my boyfriend. Oh, sorry, Giles, he killed your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to, like...
And he tormented everybody.
Yeah, like, he could have... I mean, and the season's not even over, so, like, we don't know who he's going to kill.
Wait,
if he's going to be more...
Well,
you never know. You know?
Not kill anybody else.
He could kill other people. Like, you never know. He's on a high right now. He's like, yeah. He's feeling himself right now, all his handiwork. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. So obviously we're drawing attention to the spell, the translated spell exists, but nobody knows about it. Yeah. So it's just sitting there on the ground and nobody knows about it. And that's where we end the episode. Mm-hmm. So very intense episode. Lots happened. My favorite line is, "Sorry, Angel, change the locks."
That's my favorite line too.
It was just like she reclaimed something in that moment.
Yep.
This whole episode is about like Buffy like just being like, okay, I'm ready.
Yep.
She's just now, time has gone by. Too much has been lost now. Yep. I feel like at this point, like she has to now. Like she cannot not. Like when she gets the opportunity again, she like can't hesitate. It's kind of how I'm seeing it. Mm-hmm. So and she's like, I had enough of you. She doesn't see Angel anymore in there. For a long time, I think she's still like, that's why she couldn't. She still saw him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Even in her head. Like, obviously, she didn't see any actions or anything he said made her think he was still Angel. But, you know, in her head,
it's hard to let go. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think she finally has now. Yeah. And my favorite scene was the Buffy, Giles, Allie scene. Even though it was kind of short, it was very intense.
It's actually mine, too.
Yeah, really? It's the first time I think we've done that.
We matched up on both this week.
Yeah, it was just, like, really powerful.
Yeah.
Like, he's angry at her, she's mad at him, they have a tussle, and then they're crying on each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And that bond is just, it's really,
When she's like, you can't leave me, I can't do this alone. Like, oh my God, so sweet. I love them. So my straight rating was a 5 out of 5. I mean, it's just like it's like, I think I texted you, Rolling Stone rated this number 10 out of 144 episodes. So it's like a really good episode. It's intense. It moves things along. Things the stakes, no pun intended, get a lot higher here. The repercussions of Angel turning have never been more personal or more damaging to the group. So things are definitely shifting here. Jenny, we got a lot more Jenny, but I'm very sad that she died. Like, she's a great character.
Yeah. And she was finally, like, making her amends and, like, things were going to move forward. I was just like, ugh. Like, they took her away for a bit, and now they brought her back, and then they just take her away permanently?
I think when they left, all these strings were about to be, like, really, like, tied up nicely. I think that's why they did it that way, because you didn't think, they're not going to kill her now.
No, exactly. Like, I really didn't think they were going to.
Like, she's moving all these balls forward, you know what I mean? So she can't die.
Giles is.
I know. Poor Giles.
Yeah.
I said Buffy becoming ready. You kind of touched on this a bit. Her, like, finally getting to the point where she knows she has to kill Angel. Yeah. I said that ups the stakes already. The Joyce Angel scene was, like, real creepy and well done, I thought.
I didn't like that. Yeah.
Like, he seemed like just a crazy
like a crazy
stalker. Yeah, crazy ex-boyfriend. Angel's tactics were really creepy and really effective. Like, I really liked them. Like, the notes and the fish. I mean, I didn't like them, but it was well done. Like, it really served him. Like, it was really, like, built things on the episode. And the narration. Like I said, it's not common. It's not usual that we get that in a Buffy episode. So I did enjoy it. And it was well written. I think it was good. It was good piece of writing. Yeah.
I don't really have anything to add to that. I basically agree with all of that. I guess the only thing I would add on is just the witty banter between Angel and Spike.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Funny. Yeah. Okay. But yeah,
And
other than that,
trying to feed Spike Sunshine.
Yeah.
So what's the rating you gave it though?
Oh, sorry, 4.8.
4.8. Okay. Good. Yeah, it's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great, good, solid episode.
Yeah.
All right. So your question for next week. I couldn't come up with a really good question, but this is what you got. And the episode's called Killed by Death.
Yep.
And why does Buffy hate hospitals so much? Not that anybody really loves hospitals, but why do you think Buffy hates hospitals?
I mean, usually people hate hospitals because somebody they know died in one. So I guess I'll just say someone died. Yep, going with that. Okay.
Thumbs up. Okay. Sounds good. So that wraps up Season 2, Episode 17, Passion. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps and YouTube and Instagram at One Girl All the World Pod. And please give us 5 stars wherever you listen. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with Season 2, Episode 18, Killed by Death. Slay you real soon.
Bye.